Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Francesco Puppi. It's a couple days before the 2025 Long Trail World Championships. We're here in Jaca, Spain. Hi, Francesco.
Hi, it's good to see you.
It's really good to see you too. So it has been something like 6 years since we've been on camera with you here at I Run Far. 2019 Trail World Championships, I think.
Yeah, I remember that time. I felt like making it to the I Run Far coverage was already an achievement in itself. So,
well, you had a great achievement at that race. You were just shy of the podium, but top 10 at a Trail World Championships is always a great performance. 6 years later, you're back here at another World Championships. How does it feel? A lot of things have happened.
Yeah, I've been competing in this World Mountain and Trail Running Championships for 10 years now. So I feel like a veteran. And there's a lot of athletes making their debut or watching the juniors, and it's kind of nice to see them discovering this new environment and experience. And for me, obviously every time is a little different, but I feel like I'm experienced enough to not to feel too much pressure in these races, and to really focus on what I know is good, and just focus on myself and do my own things in my race. So the sport has evolved dramatically over the past 6 years. Now that the mountain and trail running championship are combined, it feels like it's a much more balanced and inclusive event. I think it's going to be hard to repeat the championship that we had in Innsbruck, because that was a very well organized event. But we'll see. We're excited. I think the field of athletes is as large as it could be, almost. So it's shaping up to be a very exciting race, which that's what we're here for.
Watching you evolve as an athlete through the years, from the outside looking in, it looks like you were focused on shorter stuff, like going over 40K was a big day, or maybe I don't know if risky is the right word, but it was like something different for you. But then all of a sudden in 2024, longer races started creeping onto your results in your resume. Do you want to talk a little bit about that transition and your evolution? Because now it seems, looking back a year or so, it's clear as day that you're transitioning into longer distance trail running now.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm just at a point in my career where I'm experienced and mature enough that I can choose different experiences and opportunities, and there is a wider spectrum. While, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I was not mature enough to really handle these kind of long races that I'm now more familiar with. So the first experience was in 2023 at Interplay, which is an 80K 50-mile trail race, fairly runnable. The winning time is under 7 hours, and it was great. I came second behind Jonathan Albon. And since then, I think with my coach, we decided to explore a little bit this side of the sport and lean into the longer distances, and why limiting myself to what I've always done. Of course, I don't think it goes, specialization is great, and I love athletes who focus on one thing and become really good at whatever distance they decide to run. But I also love versatility. So I feel like in trail running, it's this variety of experiences and races that we can line up to that makes the sport very exciting.
Does 2025 seem to you to be sort of an explosive year in your long distance trail running, as much as it seems from an outside perspective?
I mean, from the outside, from a result perspective, for sure, I've never won as many races as this year. So in terms of results, it's by far my best year. From my own perspective, it feels like a natural evolution of the person and the athlete I've always been.
Okay.
And it's just that I'm more mature and more experienced, and my mental health is way better than what it used to be, even 1 year or a couple of years ago. There's been a lot of little things and like boundary conditions that have changed, including switching from Nike to Hoka, for example,
Right.
or just surrounding myself with supportive people, and I think also believing in myself a little more. And I don't know, maybe I've also found my sweet spot with these long but not super long races.
That middle distance
yeah.
ultras.
Exactly. if it's a thing. So yeah, I cannot point out a single factor that has made all the difference, of course, but
The
yeah,
trajectory of everything in
exactly.
that direction.
It's felt super rewarding, and I'm just super grateful for the experiences that I've had this year, and even in the past. I mean, even what are perceived as negative experiences, I think they're still important in shaping your personality and like teaching you about life and sport. So yeah, of course, like there is positive and negative emotions associated with any experience, and I think acceptance is a good thing. Like trying not to be judgmental towards how we feel and how a certain situation or certain people make us feel, and I think I've become just better at that. So I think the technical side has always been there. Like with my coach, we've always made sure to do things gradually, and I feel like my training has been good for a long number of years. Maybe now it's just that I've managed to stay injury free for a longer time, which obviously is huge. But it's maybe more like the emotional and mental side that have changed.
You were in the middle of an interesting double experiment in that it was just 4 weeks before this race day that you raced and won CCC in quite a competitive field. How did you go into approaching this double and making the decision that, this is going to be experiment a focus?
Right. I'm very excited by this challenge. I feel like it's an interesting experiment, and we really tried to approach not just one race but 2 races with like just the same attention and focus on both of them. And we knew that with enough focus on recovery before and after CCC, the CCC race itself could be a huge stimulus for Worlds. So I think the recovery has been better than what I thought. And also I didn't finish completely smashed. Like my first 100K experience at Canyons, I finished completely exhausted and broken. Like that race was by far the most painful experience of my life. CCC was hard for sure, but not quite as painful. So like maybe 10, 12 days after, I was back training consistently and putting in some good work. There's only been a little setback in the last 7 days, just a little problem at my right glute, which I don't think will prevent me from having a good race, but we'll see. I haven't run much over the past 7 days, mostly cycling.
Hard taper.
So I mean, I think going into the race with good feelings is not as important as in a short race, because you have more time to like see how you feel and like just like start running the race.
40K to survive and 40K to thrive.
Right. So like you still have to respect the distance because it's going to be like a 9-hour race, I think, or close to that, which is a very long way. So yeah, we'll see. But I don't know what's going to happen after 5 hours. But the only way to find out is to try.
To me, this course is fascinating, and it's a topic of everybody's conversation right now. It's the most interesting World Championships course I've seen in a decade of being around these. You've recce'd it, I think.
Yep.
What do you think of the course?
Well, for sure, it's quite remote and wild and technical. It's not my favorite type of terrain, but I really like the place and the mountains, which makes the challenge of the terrain feel like less of a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for sure, and I think it's good that I'm transitioning from a very runnable race like CCC, like pretty much non-technical,
to the great hiking competition that's this one?
to more like tough mountain terrain, and I think it's interesting how different communities around the world have a different idea of trail running. So like here, it's more like it's maybe closer to sky running and like going off trail and ridges and technical terrain, while at UTMB is more like just the UTMB trails that we all know.
A bunch of vertical but good trail
smooth
surfaces.
and big trails. So I think it's, even from a technical perspective, it's good because the couple of long runs that I've done in between CCC and this race were like more like heavy on vert and technicality, but like very slow and not many miles.
What do you get something out of like the aesthetics and the visuals of the environment that you're moving through? I've heard some people talk about, oh my gosh, this is one of the most beautiful courses I've been on.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's maybe two things that are very attractive for me about this race, and one is for sure the competition. Like, just I love competing and I love challenging myself with the best athletes. So that is maybe the number one thing. But also the interest comes from the beauty of the mountains and the environment and the trails. And it's for sure very aesthetic, which is a dimension that feels like a little bit lost in the pro running space when you're like very focused on competing and training and data and all of that. There is less space for like the emotional side of the sport, but I think it's important to keep it alive. And it's for sure one of the very reasons why I do this sport.
Who knew? Well, I guess Western Spain knew that the Pyrenees way out here in Western Spain are gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Team Italy has been a perennial contender in both the World and Trail Championships. The long trail team this year is very strong. How are you feeling about Team Italy and the group of gentlemen you have to be working together with on Saturday?
Oh yeah, I really respect my teammates, and I think each one of them has their own strengths, which we'll see how they play out on Saturday. I'm very excited for Christian Minoggio, who it was like a revelation for the world after OCC and the battle with Jim. So like everyone was, who the hell is Christian Minoggio?
Googling him, trying to translate Italian.
Yeah. But I've known him for a number of years, and he's a crazy guy. He's a sort of legend, very wild. He lives on a dam.
He lives on a dam?
On a dam, yeah.
Like a dam on a riverway?
Yeah, like, but up in the mountains
Okay.
at very high elevation.
Okay.
And very, very remote.
Is he like a dam monitor?
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Like I think you can only hike to the dam or reach it with the helicopter.
Okay.
So he's just out there alone, training and watching the dam, which is kind of interesting.
Huh.
And then Andreas, of course, he's very experienced. He's coming from a second place in Innsbruck and a third place in Thailand on the long trail.
You should just do your own interview. You're a great sports commentator too.
And then we have Riccardo Montani and Jonathan Cogliati, who are maybe a little less experienced, but they've done well in some national races. So I think they can complete the team, and maybe it's me, Andreas, and Christian who are maybe the
headliners.
Yeah. But I hope we can go into the race not just for ourselves, but also for as a shared experience as a team.
Last question for you. You do a fair number of commercial events, and here we are at a federated event. There's a push-pull, accordion type dynamic between commercialization and federalization of the sport right now. Any commentary on that?
Yeah. I feel like the brands are less obstructive compared to how the situation used to be a few years, even for Innsbruck or for Thailand, where they deliberately prevented some athletes from running for their country, for example, just because they were not wearing the right logo. Yeah, the right logo on their tank or something, which is pretty dumb. And I think even organizations like Golden Trail or UTMB have understood the importance of working with a federation in order to grow the sport and set standards and become more professional. For example, on the anti-doping side, which is obviously very important, and we've all seen what not taking care of it in the proper way means. It leads to pretty huge disasters.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to foster the trust in anti-doping institutions. So I think at various levels there's been positive steps forwards. Also representing the PTRA, we are part of a working group that includes different federations like ITRA, WMRA, World Athletics, and tries to involve other race organizers like UTMB primarily and brands to really grow the sport to the next level, which at this stage feels like it's not a next level on the commercial side, which is already quite advanced, but it's more like on the organization and legislation side.
Yep.
Maybe, yeah. So yeah, it's been good, and I feel like there is more willingness to work together, to sit down at the table and discuss, and not just focus, like every organization focus on their own thing. So it's been pretty good.
Cool. Francesco Puppi, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
The 2025 Long Trail World Championships on Saturday.
Yeah.
Have a good run in the Pyrenees.
Thank you.